What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage, and I'm back today. We are talking about HR 4117. The bill has been there. I've seen your guys' comments that have gone through and read it, and you guys are saying this is the most comprehensive bill that has been put out in terms of emissions. And I went ahead and I emailed people that are climate attorneys to see their thoughts on it. And from both sides of the aisle. I emailed somebody that works in the oil and gas industry, and I also emailed somebody who's like super environmentalist. And shocker, both of them have a distinct consensus. You want to guess what that is? The oil and gas people are excited about this bill because it'll allow them to sell more petroleum products, and manufacturers will not have to make as fuel efficient vehicles and won't have to have all this crazy emissions BS on their vehicles moving forward. Climate activists and attorneys that are pro, like tree hugging, whatever, are also freaked out because they know that if this bill becomes law, that everything that they've been working for 25 to 30 years, gone with a snap and a signing of a pen. Now, I know I've already seen the comments. Well, when a Democrat gets in, they could just write another bill to put it back in place. No, they can't. Yeah, they could write a bill. They would need a supermajority in the Senate, and they would have to also have the House. Not going to happen. Good luck with that. So what I'm excited about in this bill, and if you've had the opportunity to read it, I would definitely tell you, look, you can Google it. HR 4117 amends the Clean Air Act to repeal the establishment of motor vehicle emissions and fuel standards. So why this is huge is I've also had friends hitting me up saying, hey, does that mean that diesel vehicles would no longer have to have these emission systems on it? Now, there's some very specific sections in the Clean Air Act that deal with defeat devices. And honestly, this bill doesn't cover that. But if there's no longer a method for them to test for emissions, like if testing for emissions is now illegal and installing emission systems on vehicles is no longer required, and I'm talking about diesel exhaust fluid, EGRs, DPF filters, all this crap that you see on diesel cars and trucks, mostly trucks, but some BMWs and stuff have them, have owned them. They're a pain in the ass. To see this, right? To see this kind of traction and this kind of a bill, which, by the way, I already know people like, well, it'll never happen because Democrats won't get behind it. The Democrats in Michigan are getting behind it. 100% they are. Fetterman from Pennsylvania is not opposed to this bill. So it doesn't take that many, right? You literally have 52. You could easily get, 53, you could get 7 to go the other way. Or they could do another budget reconciliation bill, which, by the way, they're already working on the next big budget reconciliation bill, which means they would only need a simple majority. That said, there was talk in the House Energy and Commerce Committee today where they mentioned this and how it would be landmark legislation to allow manufacturers to have absolute freedom to be able to give consumers absolute choice. So it is a gangbusters bill. Now we're already seeing manufacturers respond to CAFE standards being, they literally cut the balls off CAFE standards with the big, beautiful bill, whether you know that or not. The reason why, and I'll put it like this, if you were paying attention, the same day that Stellantis came out and said that they were bringing back the SRT division, right? That is the performance, the most horsepower, the biggest powerful cars you can get, like the Demon 170, like yada, yada, right? The reason why that got brought back, it was done the same time that they knew that all they had to do was have the president sign it. They knew it was already passed. Stellantis was like, we're bringing back SRT. Why? Because they knew they weren't going to get fined. They don't have to worry about, oh, well, crap, if the vehicles we make don't have this combined fuel economy standard, we're going to have to pay hundreds of millions of dollars in fines. That's gone. That's gone for everybody. That's why you're seeing crazy movement and development at Ford. That's why you see Stellantis fast tracking. They're going to push. You're going to see, I dare to say that the horsepower wars that we saw from 2015 to 2023 are going to pale in comparison to what we're going to see between now and like 2030. We're going to see some insane vehicles come out. I'm talking 1,000 horsepower trucks. I'm talking about insane power out of the diesel market. And that's why this is huge. That's why this is huge. And we're already there, right? There's no fines or nothing moving forward for them to build whatever the hell they want. This bill in Congress now takes it to another level. And I think it will open the door. This bill passes, and let's say Stellantis is able to come, Ram's able to come out with a vehicle that doesn't have DEF, and maybe they keep the EGR or whatever, but they don't have to have this super burdensome emission systems on a diesel truck. And they can come out and be like, this is the most reliable diesel truck sold in America. Because it would be if it didn't have all that shit on it, right? They open the door for people that have those vehicles, that have those systems on them, to then get rid of it and delete it. That's why this bill is huge. And here's the thing. The bill's not done. The bill's not done. They can still add that stuff in there. And if it matters to you, you can contact your congressman and your senator, because there will be. But I would tell you right now, if you're in Texas, to contact Representative Roger Williams and say, hey, because he's the one that introduced the bill, and say, hey, we need a useful life exemption for diesel emission systems on trucks, or put it in law. And this is how you make the manufacturers side with consumers. Really simple. Either the emission system is covered for life under warranty, meaning the manufacturer has to pay to fix it every time it fails, or when it reaches a useful life, whatever that may be, it can be removed and it no longer has to be on the vehicle. That's simple. And I think that talking to these people here, talking to these congressmen and senators that are going to, get to where this final section of what this bill is going to be is absolutely critical. But I highly recommend you to go read this bill, read it in detail. It's available, because I saw that, there's no text, TK. You don't know what you're talking about. They haven't wrote the bill yet. You can't see it. This is all fake news. I showed the bill in the last video before but that's how you know that people just comment, because they're just friggin' dumbasses. And I appreciate y'all's messages. I've heard this on the YouTube channel is talking about you, or this on the YouTube channel says, no. Listen, be careful of where you get your information from, all right? The ones that are saying, nothing's going to change and smog's going to be here forever, those people are pro-smog shops. They have business dealings with smog shops. They provide equipment and services to smog shops. And unfortunately, I'll put it like this. If I had an alcohol store, right? Let's say I'm selling liquor, and then someone comes out and says, they should be raising the age limit to 25. Do you think I want that as somebody that makes money off alcohol? Hell no. I'm going to be 100% against that. So when you see some of these YouTube channels that'll be like, they don't know what they're talking about. No. If they're just negative all the time, don't want to be positive for change, that should tell you everything that you need to know. All right? That's all I'm going to say about that. And if somebody's offended or thinking I'm talking about them directly, if the shoe fits, lace that motherfucker up, homie. But outside of that, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Be sure to give the video a big thumbs up if you like what we do. Our Tesla Model S giveaway, if you want a vehicle with no emissions, we do have our Tesla Model S giveaway, and it is wrapping up. It will be closing on July 16th. So at 12:01 a.m. on the 17th, that's it. We close that one out, and we're getting our next giveaway ready, which will be a gas engine vehicle, which I know you guys are excited for, so stay tuned for that. But you can go to tksgarage.com, or you can pick any of the merch that you see below the screen here, which has TK's Garage on it. And every dollar that you spend right now until the end of the giveaway gets you 20 entries. So if that is something that you're interested in, that's what I'm interested in. I want to see you guys win. Go ahead and tap in over there with us over there. We truly appreciate your guys' support. Anyways, until next time, thank you very much for watching. I truly appreciate it. I will keep you guys abreast of everything that is going on with this bill here. I highly recommend you go read it. The text does change occasionally. They are adding stuff. They are doing different things from the committee, where they're adding different amendments and other stuff in here in this bill. So definitely go read it and stay on top of it. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. I truly appreciate it. And as always, stay petty, my friends.
For the longest time. Whoa. For the longest time.
Percocet, Miley Percocet, Miley Percocet, represent, gotta represent.